What's up, everyone? We had an absolutely crazy day in the markets today, led by a news announcement at 5:30, leading to a huge sell-off, which we ended up actually trading back up to the highs of the day. But with the crazy volatility we had a lot of great setups. So let's just go over what I saw today. So after the huge sell-off, obviously it was very volatile. You could see that we touched EMA after having a new low. I can kind of count this as a matching low here, but we had one leg up, followed by a first entry short, followed by another leg up, and a second entry short right here, and a lower high confirming the bearish momentum right there. So both of these trades were pretty good in my eyes, especially since we had the short-term uptrend, a break, and a new high signaling the short-term uptrend is over. And if you were lucky enough to get a trade in here, it would have been nice. You would have been 2-0 to start the day, but it was very volatile. These bars were printing on the chart very fast. And we do have what looks like a failed second entry long right here. New high, first entry long, second entry long, failure. That would have been another nice trade. But eventually we did have a new low reached after this massive downtrend. So once we had the break and a new low, then we can start thinking that maybe the downtrend is over and we can start looking for short entries. But whenever we have such a large downtrend like this, it usually is followed by some sort of range, which we ended up seeing. And we ended up just being very choppy here. I really didn't see many great entries, especially because these bars just look very small, even though it's so volatile. The market opened all the way around here, and it was just a lot of choppiness before we finally ended up trading up. Here's actually another failed second entry long, new high right here, one leg down, first entry long, another leg down, second entry long, failure. And it's also a visual second entry short. So if you're looking at this new low, it's a first entry short, second entry short. This was like a trap trade, especially because it was a bullish bar followed by a very bearish bar. And that was the final move before we ended up trading up into the range, and we shot up like a rocket. So once we had this uptrend, you can kind of start to believe that the upward momentum isn't stopping until we reach some sort of resistance, and we ended up reaching the highs and actually going past the highs. But I do like this trade right here if you're more of an aggressive trader, just because it was kind of a breakout pullback trade, especially due to the fact that we had a new high here. We went down, we had a first entry long, we went down again, second entry long, and this was a higher low confirming the second entry long. It is below the EMA, but like I said, if you were more aggressive and you wanted to catch a big move, that was a nice trade to do so. And now we had a break and a new high, and we just kept making higher highs and higher lows. So to me, it was kind of a signal that we had another trend in place, and it was kind of a spike and channel pattern. And there just really weren't too many enterable opportunities just yet, but we did have several later in the day, which I'll go over. And here we can kind of just see prices are just hovering, but once we moved back above the EMA and we had a failed second entry short, new low, first entry short, second entry short, bullish bar, touching the EMA again. We didn't reach these lows, but we had more buying pressure here. So at this point, you can be confident that we're at least going to reach this high again, especially because we didn't have a test at the high after this break. And we did eventually keep on pushing forward. Here we have a second entry long, new high, first entry long, second entry long, another great opportunity to get a trade in. If you're counting from these lows, because these bars were stacked, you can kind of count from this low. We had a first entry short, second entry short failure combined with the second entry long. And we just kept on pushing before finally breaking out. And you were just waiting for any good entry at this point, but because the bars were printing so fast, it just was, there were just a lot of moves today that went without us. But with that said, there were also a ton of great trades, and if you caught some good moves, you could have been done early today. And here we just had some more sideways action, but looking at the big picture, I mean, look how many bars are printed on the chart. We finally had a new high, but there were several trend lines you could have drawn today. Something like this was even valid later in the day, I believe, but it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. You really just want to focus on the shorter term trends. Something like this came into play, but on these types of days, you can really have so many different trend channels that'll work, but you really just want to base your trades off the context and what is going on. So like here we have just a lot of stagnation at the EMA. We can't push through it to the downside, so you just don't want to look for shorts just yet. And we have first entry short, kind of from this low, first entry short, second entry short failure, another nice bullish bar. That would have been a great trade as well. And yeah, these moves just were crazy today. Once again, we had attempts to push below the EMA, but the bears were just not strong enough today. And here we have another failed second entry short, new low, first entry short, strong push above the EMA, second entry short, failure with a higher low here. It would have worked for a scalp. That's why we look for scalp swing these days. And even though it doesn't look like much, if you went long here, from the high of that bar to here, that's over a 4-point move. And if you went long above this bar, it would have still worked out for a 1-point scalp, which is why even on the crazy days like today, it's still your best option to look for 1-point scalps. Obviously, you can go for more if you're more aggressive, but I like to stick with the 1 point or 1.25 point scalps. And here we have another failed second entry short, new low, first entry short, second entry short, failure, small bar, and that was another excellent trade. And we just had some more sideways movement before I believe we kept pushing higher even another time. And zooming out, we can see that it was kind of a range structure, but with that said, once we pushed above the EMA, we can be confident that we're probably going to test the highs once again, considering just how fast the markets were moving and how much momentum the bulls were producing. And we reached that high, and at this point of the day, it was pretty choppy. There weren't too many great trades, but I mean, considering what happened the rest of the day, you can't complain at all. Here we have a failed second entry short, but it is only 15 minutes before the close. But yeah, guys, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I'm excited to see. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave me a like, leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys have any questions, I'll respond to them. Have a good one.